Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Thursday, June 8, 2023. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. JAGDEO calls out APNU over front organizations to contest LGE. Judge stays order for ExxonMobil to provide unlimited insurance guarantee. GDF Coast Guard lieutenant shot dead. U.S. plugs U.S. $100 million in climate, energy, and humanitarian assistance for Caribbean. And Mahaica fire. House was previously set ablaze by neighbor, says mother. Now for the news in detail. General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party Civic, JAGDEO, has warned Guyanese to be on the lookout for front organizations that were put up by the PNC-led Partnership for National Unity to contest the upcoming June 12 local government elections. Here is HUMANITARIAN with our lead story tonight.
During a press conference on Thursday, PPP General Secretary Dr. JAGDEO said that APNU's facade has come to an end after the PNC-led opposition party admitted that it has mounted several front organizations, especially across Region 3, to contest the local government polls.
Mahdia said that Hague-Blankenburg Development Association, which is a symbol of a light bulb, is a PNC front. So if you vote for them, you're voting for APNU. He said the Mora Parika NDC, the sucker tree, is their symbol. That's another PNC APNU outfit. So if you live in that area, don't be misled. He said the Margaret II Mirzorgan NDC, that the APNU AFC symbol there is the eagle. And then the two flood potential area, they have a sugarcane with a cutlass as their symbol. Obviously, they couldn't put APNU with the sugarcane symbol because they closed the whale sugar factory there. So they put another group there with a sugarcane and a cutlass as their symbol. And that is the PNC outfit there.
According to JAGDEO, the PNC-led APNU is ashamed to contest in these communities. Hence, they are using the independent groups as front organizations.
So if you live in the area, APNU was ashamed to come in that form. They came in the form of the PNC because of their track record. Don't be misled if you're in these communities. The PNC is coming in disguise, APNU is coming in disguise. And it's extremely stupid of him to say that 3 days before the elections, because all this subterfuge and the disguise that they were creating, the facade that it's an independent group, now we see that it's APNU's groups there, and they are ashamed to go in the form of APNU in these communities. So they're trying to mislead the residents in those areas. It's a shameful, shameful thing.
JAGDEO went on to urge the electorate to be wary of the APNU attempts to mislead them.
I hope people by now get the drift that APNU will come up with a lot of lies. I want to urge all of those who are looking, particularly the supporters of the PPP and APNU supporters too, I know some of them look at the program, to spread the message that we should not be fooled again. We're carrying a respectful message to all of these communities.
Reporting for the Evening News, HUMANITARIAN.
Tasia Dickinson joins us now to report that the appeal court has issued a stay against the order handed down by High Court Judge Sandil Kasoon for ExxonMobil and its subsidiary Esso Exploration to provide unlimited liability guarantee for its operations in the Stabroek block. Here is more.
Although Justice of Appeal Rishi Prasad granted a stay on a High Court order for ExxonMobil's local affiliate, Esso Exploration and Production Guyana Limited, to provide an unlimited parent company guarantee for its oil operations offshore, he also ordered the company to lodge a US $2 billion guarantee pending the hearing and determination of an appeal against the lower court's decision. In delivering his judgment on Thursday on the merits of the appeal filed by the Environmental Protection Agency, which he noted has a good prospect of success, Justice Prasad was keen to point out that his order for ESSO to provide the guarantee is in an effort to allay any anxiety as to any impending doom. He further instructed the oil company to provide the sum within 10 days, failing which the stay on the High Court order stands dismissed. The judge, among other things, said that the interest of justice clearly mandates a stay of the High Court order that was issued by Justice Sandil Kisoon. On May 3rd, Justice Kisoon issued an order directing the EPA to issue ExxonMobil's local affiliates with an enforcement notice on or before May 9th for the company to provide, within 30 days, unlimited parent company guarantee and or unlimited liability affiliate company guarantee, together with environmental liability assurance as is customary in the international petroleum industry. EPA's Executive Director Kemraj Parsram had confirmed that the agency had issued EEPGL with the enforcement notice. Since Justice Kisoon's order has been suspended, the oil company no longer has until today, June 8, to comply with that notice. The High Court order has in its origin in a case filed in September 2022 by the president of the Transparency Institute of Guyana, Inc., Frederick Collins, and Guyanese citizen Godfrey White, who had moved to the court to get the EPA to enforce the liability clause in the permit. They wanted the court to ensure EEPGL takes full financial accountability in the case of harm, loss, and damage to the environment from a well blowout, oil spill, or other failures. The EPA and Attorney General Anil Nandlal has maintained that the environmental permit granted to ESSO imposes no obligation on the company to provide an unlimited parent company guarantee agreement and or affiliate company guarantee agreement. If Justice Kisoon's ruling is not set aside, the government has argued that it could have profound ramifications and grave economic as well as other impacts on the public interest and national development. The full bench of the Court of Appeal is expected to set soon to hear EPA's substantive appeal. Tasia Dickinson, The Evening News.
A motorcyclist who was injured in an accident which occurred on Saturday last along the Clifton Public Road, Currentine, Berbice, has succumbed. Andrew Carmichael reports that the motorcyclist was hit by a lorry in a three-vehicle accident.
Dead is 30-year-old Chandranath Ali, a father of two of Les Beholden Blackbush Pole, Currentine, Berbice, who was operating motorcycle CJ 2990 at the time of the crash. The accident occurred at about 23:40 hours along the Clifton Public Road, Currentine, on Saturday and involved a motor car and a lorry. Ali succumbed to his injuries on Thursday morning at the Georgetown Public Hospital. Police say the accident involved a truck being driven by a 22-year-old man of Farm, Currentine, and a car driven by a 32-year-old Baba of Tain Village, and Ali's motorcycle. Police say that the 22-year-old lorry driver claimed that Ali rode across the road and got into his lane. He claimed that he applied brakes and tried to turn to avoid a collision, but his efforts proved futile and the right side front collided with the right side of the motorcycle and then into a motor car which was stationary. The lorry and the car ended up in the northern side trench. The motorcyclist was picked up in an unconscious condition by the police and public-spirited citizens and taken to the Port Morant Hospital, where he was medically examined and later transferred to the New Amsterdam Public Hospital, where he underwent emergency surgery and subsequently transferred to the Georgetown Public Hospital. The now dead man's mother, Kuna Devi Ali, said her son was severely injured.
He gets a fractured skull, he liver tear, he got tear, he gets the one foot break, the lung damage, his kidney likely damage, and the next foot break replaced.
The mother said that she learned of the accident through a doctor from the New Amsterdam hospital after her son was placed there.
When you get to my ICU, at one time they say going down, and then they transfer him from there to Georgetown, and every day, 3 times a day, they're at the hospital. He has no response, no hand, no foot, nothing. Was moving, eyes closed, and all the doctor then say he's stable and he's in a critical condition. And this morning, I get a phone call from the hospital that he passed away.
Police took the lorry driver into custody. A breathalyzer test was conducted on him and a reading of 0 was registered. Investigations are ongoing. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
Lieutenant Rondell Douglas of the Guyana Defense Force Coast Guard was last evening shot and killed in North Rhymeville, Georgetown. The Evening News understands that the GDF officer was working his private car as a taxi and was in the process of dropping off passengers at a location when they attacked him during the course of a robbery. It was during a fight between the soldier and the perpetrator that Douglas was shot and killed. Police have said a resident in the area recalled hearing a loud explosion, which caused him to look out his window, and he saw the vehicle speeding out of the area and the soldier lying on the roadway in a pool of blood. 2 wounds were visible to his chest and head. CCTV footage has been retrieved and police are currently looking for the suspects and the motor car as investigations continue. Douglas, who was 33, was a resident of Bagotville, West Bank, Demerara. He enlisted in the Guyana Defense Force on February 15, 2012 and was a graduate of the Standard Officers Course 44. He was a first-year full-time student at the University of Guyana, pursuing a degree in computer science. The GDF has since issued a statement in which it noted that Douglas was a committed and dedicated officer who last served as aide-de-camp to the former Chief of Staff, Brigadier Godfrey Bess. We now tell you that the United States government has announced more than $100 million, including $98 million, in new funding from the United States Agency for International Development to address climate, energy, food security, and humanitarian assistance in the Caribbean. Here are the details.
This announcement was made by Vice President Kamala Harris in the Bahamas, where she met with several Caribbean leaders on Thursday morning. President Dr. Irfan Ali, who is leading the region's food security agenda, is among the heads of state in Nassau for the engagement with the U.S. Vice President. The meeting, which was co-chaired by Prime Minister of the Bahamas Philip Davis, the current chair of CARICOM, is aimed at building on the Vice President's previous engagement with Caribbean leaders in June 2022 at the Summit of the Americas in Los Angeles. According to a statement from USAID, it will be injecting $20 million to support the Caribbean's transition to renewable energy and increase energy efficiency. This funding will go to companies with financial and technical assistance and business development services through the Caribbean Climate Investment Program. Another $15 million will go towards supporting disaster risk reduction, emergency response capacity strengthening, and resilience building across the Caribbean. Vice President Harris also announced support for the Caribbean island states' response to the impacts of climate change. As such, USAID is providing $1.5 million to the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center to increase the flow of international climate funding and help strengthen key data tools for decision-making for CARICOM countries. The agency will also provide $1 million to partner with the Caribbean Islands Higher Education Resilience Consortium and Northeastern University to help mitigate and adapt to the effects of climate change, including the risks associated with extreme weather events. This work will also pursue economic development opportunities associated with building a resilient blue and green economy. Meanwhile, USAID is also providing $10.5 million to Haiti to enhance resilience and productivity in the country's agricultural and livestock sectors with the aim of improving food security in the nation. A further $54 million has also been set aside for the people of Haiti in response to the country's humanitarian crisis. In addition to alarming levels of gang violence and a crippling economy, Haiti continues to be battered with natural disasters. The country experienced a massive flood over the weekend that have displaced over 13,000 and killed at least 42 Haitians. Then earlier this week, a 4.9 magnitude earthquake struck the country, killing another 3 persons. Rupa Sinarain, The Evening News.
Coming up, Mahaica fire, house was previously set ablaze by neighbors, says mother. And Mahdia fire, students given option to write exams next year. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Well, Mr. Smart, election in the air again, buddy. But how often if we can hear stories about dead people and overseas people voting again?
Well, Sunil, I can't say if you will hear that, but I know you can't cheat in voting at elections.
Why you say that?
Because if you try to cheat, you will be caught. And when you're caught, you will be prosecuted. And if found guilty, you will go to jail or pay a fine or both.
So how they gonna catch me if I try to cheat?
How? GECOM has several measures in place to identify if anyone attempts to cheat. For example, like pretending to be a voter that he or she is not. And those measures include checking the ID cards and the folio with voters' photos and any other information on it to verify that they are who they claim to be. So anyone who attempts to vote illegally will be immediately arrested by the police.
You're right, Mr. Smart. Anyway, thanks for educating me why nobody can vote by cheating.
Anytime, Sunil. Anytime, man. Anytime.
For more information, contact the GECOM hotlines on 225-0277-9, 226-6557, or 223-9650, or visit www.gecom.org.gy. LGE is Monday, June 12.
Fuck off. The Oreos belong to us.
No, they belong to whoever finds them first.
Get your Oreo Transformers Limited Edition and awaken the beast.
Sally's Boutique is the place to shop when looking for quality high-end men and women footwear, wristwear, wallets, and clothing. Follow us on Instagram, Sally's Boutique GY. We're located at Charlotte Street between Camp and Wellington Streets. Contact us on 231-7519. That's 231-7519. WhatsApp 613-9578. That's 613-9578. Sally's Boutique, the new home of Clark's.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe.
Sun or rain? Up or down? No one knows what tomorrow will bring, but with Premier's commercial property insurance, you'll be ready. For all risks insurance, call 223-0840 or visit premierinsurance.gy. Fuel your success. Premier Insurance. Premier insurance coverage.
Play and win with Superbet. Visit an agent near you to play all your favorite games. Superbet, your best bet. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly.
If you want real energy, just say nah if you got and two. Good source of iron for me and for you. Make you feel like say you have energy for two. When you make a man flex with you and your cool work late, I left the gym after 2. Vigatan tonic at the remedy for some man for sue. So say nah if you got and two. Vigatan. From your new energy you are defend. Just say nah if you got and 10. Chunk up your body, drink and come again. Vigatan 2 are the remedy, my friend.
Vigatan 2, good source of vitamin and iron for you.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. As the fire service investigates the cause of the inferno that gutted a house at Lot 61 Belmont, Mahaica, East Coast Demerara, resulting in the deaths of 2 young sisters, the mother of the children has revealed that this is not the first time the building was set ablaze. Tasia Dickinson tells us more.
At around 13 hours on Wednesday, a house at Lot 61 Belmont, Mahaica, East Coast Demerara went up in flames, trapping sisters 3-year-old Shamina Hardat and 9-year-old Animika Hardat, who was differently abled. The duo eventually perished in the fire. The siblings were left home alone while their mother and stepfather had stepped out to conduct errands. Shabika Hardat, a mother of 4, told this newscast that sometime last year the house was set on fire by a neighbor. The woman further related that the neighbor had also assaulted her, resulting in her losing a finger. The neighbor reportedly was charged and served jail time for the offense but has since been released from prison, according to the woman.
And he always threatened me, he would light the fire and burn down my house and get rid of me and my picnic and kill my father. I had gas and kerosene in the house, but there wasn't much for my kids to light. What yesterday, I go for light my heap, and the back until now my heap there. Until now my heap there because I had the lighter, not even light for light the heap for me get the back there. Until now the garbage heap there back there for light.
The woman resided at the building with her 4 children and their stepfather, along with other relatives. The woman said she had left them home alone to head to Cove and John, East Coast Demerara, in a bid to apply for passports for her children. The stepfather, who works as a laborer, had gone to purchase groceries. The woman said she does not often leave her children home alone.
She has a disability. She even get documents at the hospital where I've been trying to get disability help for her so many years. She used to go to the clinic. She used to go to the disability clinic. She used to go to Unity for therapy, food therapy. She started to walk at the therapy when she went to the therapy at Unity. It was more close from Georgetown to there, but she used to go in Georgetown disability, the place where you the speech therapy, like 5 years back, because I couldn't afford to send her like every month to the clinic, go and come. I really try my best. I always, every day, I get up, I pray for safety, for the best, and the best, and the best, and the better for every day. I don't really look on tomorrow. I just say Alhamdulillah, Inshallah, when life given, Almighty Allah. I just always pray for the best every day. I just pray for my picnic. For see them get big, that they can, there with me, I can care all of them. I can go walk all, eat hard for care all of them together, me alone. For walk with them, I just care them. How far I go care them. What me even try with a little stand out there for just every afternoon. Something I tired of my place at. I would just go breeze out every afternoon, put out little thing, and I be sit down and I be coming back, eat, pray, and I be with my kids and we just do the best we can do every day.
Meanwhile, Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony had visited the grieving family members, where he committed government's assistance to finding them a place to stay during this tough period. Investigations continue into the cause of the fire. Tasia Dickinson, The Evening News.
Following the tragic fire last month that destroyed most of the Mahdia Secondary School's female dormitory and in the process took the lives of 20 children, the Education Ministry is offering alternative learning options to those who have been affected. Find out more in this Pooja Rambaran report.
Students who attended the Mahdia Secondary School, regardless of if they lived in the dorms or not, were presented with the opportunity to write their Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate examinations in the following year. Education Minister Priya Mahdia made this disclosure to the media on Wednesday.
We offered them the option of writing in January. Some students chose that option, and some felt that they needed to write it now. That was their way of reasserting their existence, I think. And so we let it be completely a choice, like we did with everything else, of the students and their parents. Where children chose to write now, we facilitated that with a caveat that if after the results are out they want a second chance, that they will get that, although we don't usually do that in the public schools. And those who chose to write in January will write in January. That's for the general population.
Meanwhile, the ministry is currently considering the best options for students who are directly affected by the fire.
We have begun to talk to them and their parents about what options can work for them given all kinds of other present circumstances, including their psychological state of mind. And we are working to see what some of the best options could be. For example, I know Mahaica, for example, has offered two options for their students. One, a bus service, and or two, a school in the community.
The education minister noted that some students have indicated their reluctance and inability to return to Mahdia Secondary School. As such, the ministry is looking into spaces where those students can be accommodated safely and comfortably.
Our insistence is that every single student that was affected by this fire, whether directly or indirectly, will finish high school successfully.
Meanwhile, a United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF assessment of the 24 dorms countrywide revealed a significant lack of action on the Education Ministry's part, with the absence of fire protection services being one of several concerns raised.
It was a Ministry of Education commission report that was facilitated by UNICEF. If we commissioned a report knowing fully well that we have no responsibility nor jurisdiction in the local governance structure or in those facilities, then I think you could surmise two clear things. One, that we wanted to learn what were some of the weaknesses and gaps in the various facilities that existed forever.
The minister added that in accordance with the governance structure, the ministry centrally has responsibility for Georgetown. However, maintenance and management of schools across other regions lie in the responsibility of the local government officials. She added that the Commission of Inquiry into the Mahdia fire is the best place to properly examine the existing structures and consider how to move forward safely and sensibly. To date, inspections were conducted at locations including the University of Guyana, President's College, Dennis Irvine Hall of Residence, as well as the Maikoni, Paramakatoy, and Ana Regina dormitories, Essequibo Technical Institute, Aurora Secondary, Charity Secondary, 3 Mile Secondary, and the Bartica Secondary School dormitories. Hostels, including the Supanam, Sadi, Ana Regina, and Charity hostels, were also examined. Pooja Rambran for the Evening News.
A number of infrastructural developments in and around the city are slowly coming together to form massive development. This is according to Vice President JAGDEO, who says that South Georgetown will be at the center of this development. Here are the details from Jarrell Bryan.
In a broadcast interview on Wednesday, Vice President Dr. JAGDEO spoke of the government's infrastructural plans for the city. This includes plans to upgrade and connect Aubrey Barker Road to the 4-lane Ogle to Eccles Highway being built.
South Georgetown is going to be the new epicenter of development. Historically, North Georgetown has been. All the hotels, the buildings, the shopping centers, the Regent Street, your business there. With the investments that we have planned, the 4-lane road that goes to the airport, as you come out of South Ruimveldt, we're in South Ruimveldt now, you're going to have an international hotel there. You're going to have a world-class hospital there. You'd have 2 shopping malls there. You'd have a whole, that's along the same stretch, maybe 3 minutes drive from here, 3 to 5 minutes drive from here. On our, you already see the businesses migrating south. As you come down the road, the main road, you would see it's getting brighter.
He also spoke about the $1.4 billion being spent in upgrades to Independence Boulevard, commonly called Puntrench Dam. According to JAGDEO, the properties lining the boulevard will skyrocket in value.
People will buy out the properties. That's why I say to people, don't sell now. Property values are going to escalate in South. Don't sell now. So along that, you'd see a new, like a Region 3 type of environment developed there. Aubrey Barker Road would be widened, connected to the highway, the 4-lane highway that we're building from Ogle to Eccles. Now that takes you in this direction out the city. At that, so 5 minutes down or 10 minutes from here too, you will then have an international hospital there, the Women and Children Hospital, a major hospital we're building at Ogle, and about 3 hotels would be there.
The Vice President noted that the hotels under construction in Georgetown alone would need some 3,000 persons to work in them. There are a number of hotels currently progressing, ranging from the Sheraton Hotel and Resort to the AC Marriott Hotel and the Hilton. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
The government of Guyana, through the Ministry of Public Works, continues to invest heavily in the infrastructural development of Region 6. On Wednesday, contracts for the rehabilitation of roads across the region, totaling in excess of $1.9 billion, were signed during a ceremony at the Regional Democratic Council boardroom at Ryman's Irvin in New Amsterdam. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael has that report.
The over $1.9 billion projects are being executed on the 2 program heads, miscellaneous roads and urban roads. The rehabilitation of miscellaneous road program consists of 28 roads spanning the length of 14.7 kilometers at a total value of $1.12 billion across the entire region, while the rehabilitation of urban roads program consists of 22 roads spanning the length of 9,084 meters. Public Works Minister Gwan Ejil explained that the work entails the rehabilitation of existing alignment to either asphaltic concrete, rigid pavement, concrete pavement, or in some cases, square pavers. He pointed out that all of the contractors have a duration of between 3 and 12 months. The contracts form part of the ministry's 2023 work program.
While we are having 3 to 12 months, this is 2023 program, and we'll be pushing to ensure all of you get your work done before the close of 2023.
In warning the contractors, some of whom would be executing government contracts for the first time, he said he does not want a repeat of what transpired last year with some contractors who were executing road rehabilitation projects in the region. In some instances last year, contractors would have dug up the road and then realized that there was no crusher run or other construction material available, causing great inconvenience to residents, in some cases for months before residents could have gotten the uses of their road.
Stockpile your materials before you start construction, so that once you start construction, the inconveniences that people suffer would be minimized, and we'll be able to deliver to them a quality road in the shortest possible time.
Nevertheless, he said some residents in the past have not been kind to contractors.
We've had situations in Berbice where people run contractor with cutlass, block the road from them coming in. The same people who access the road, the community must be aware of when the work is starting and when it is expected to finish. So they must be mentally prepared, make the necessary adjustments.
For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa on Thursday inspected pump stations across Georgetown after hours of rainfall caused several areas to be inundated, where he called on residents to avoid blocking drains. Rupasina Ryan tells us more.
In sections of the capital city on Thursday, water accumulated after a spell of heavy rainfall. As Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa inspected the pump stations, he noted that the intention is to have all of these facilities functional so as to curtail major flooding.
The Hydromet's office could have recorded almost 4 inches of rainfall that fell in about 2 hours.
because of the high intensity and the high volume of water. And the high volume of water, we are seeing that many areas in Georgetown now are underwater. We are here at the completing all the 13 pumps of the operable. I want to appeal to residents to avoid blocking in corner drains and those alleyways so that we can have the free flow of water so the main canal, so the food station and pump station.
Meanwhile, a seasonal climate forecast by the Hydrometeorological Service this week has predicted that the current rainy season will continue in June before the country transitions into the dry conditions starting from July. The predictions account for June to August, noting that there will be continuous surface wetness in June, drawing focus on the need to maintain drainage infrastructure. Persons have been warned that there might be disruption to outdoor activities. The highest amount of rainfall can be expected in Region 7 and the northern part of Region 8. Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
In other news, construction of the shore base at Reed and Hoop in Region 3 continues to move at a rapid pace. The project has so far advanced to a stage where the artificial island in the Demerara River is now connected by a road to the coastline. The pace of construction is continuing on a 24-hour basis. The current shore base construction will see the first phase of 10 acres made operational by December 2023, with additional acreage delivered by the second quarter of 2024. The long-term vision of this project is eventually to see the full port of Reed and Hoop completed with as much as 800 acres of port facilities. Director of Reed and Hoop Shore Base Inc., Nicholas Degu Boyer, has explained that once fully realized, the port of Reed and Hoop will tie into the country's vision to expand Guyana's development. VESI is currently the largest Guyanese private sector investment in the oil and gas sector and is expected to cost over US $300 million. Reed and Hoop Shore Base Inc. is a joint venture between NRG Holdings Inc., a 100% Guyanese-owned consortium that is the majority shareholder, and Jan de Nul, an international maritime infrastructure company headed in Luxembourg. And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Friday, June 9th at 22 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Friday, June 9th at 8:20 hours for a period of 1.5 hours.
Government of Guyana supports Noel's pursuits and West Indies UAE to play final ODI tomorrow. Details of these stories in the Sportcast sponsored by MacCorp coming up on the other side of the break.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Knock off. The Oreos belong to us. No, they belong to whoever finds them first.
Get your Oreo Transformers Limited Edition and awaken the beast.
Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis style.
Entrepreneurs, coconut byproducts are in high demand. How can you cater to that demand? By investing in a coconut shredder from Sylvie's. Guaranteed to increase your output, this 110-volt stainless steel machine shreds coconut in seconds, allowing you to also save on labor and time. From the shreds, you can create coconut powder, oil, milk, etc. Order yours now at sylviesonline.com or at our 31 High and Hatfield Street store.